At the UN Climate Change Conference COP29 in Baku, Azerbaijan, representatives of Allatra International Public Movement shared their expert assessment of the climate situation and proposed innovative solutions to address environmental issues and the climate crisis. During the presentation, President of Allatra, Marina Ovsinova, highlighted the alarming warming of the oceans and its catastrophic consequences for the planet. She also introduced groundbreaking innovations aimed at restoring the balance of ocean ecosystems and mitigating climate disasters. These proposals garnered significant interest and support from the international community and scientists. The Allatra movement actively works to unite people to tackle the global climate crisis and plays a key role in advancing international initiatives for environmental protection and sustainable development.
So good day, esteemed colleagues and conference participants. My name is Marina Ovsinova. I'm a president of Allatra International Public Movement, and it's both an honor and a big privilege for us to address you today. And I would like to briefly educate you about the Allatra International Public Movement. So our movement brings together experts, scientists, and volunteers from 180 countries. So our major goal is to study very, very deeply the climate change and definitely find a solution. Of course, bring an awareness about the climate change around the world. And for us, it's a very big honor to be here. And I really would like to say thank you to Mohammed, who helped us to get here, and express our deep gratitude to the Egypt, the Dream Foundation for Development and Advancement. So thanks you. So we're getting closer with each day to our common goal to save the earth and bring prosperity to the entire of humanity. And today, I would like to focus your attention on ocean warming and the cause of it and the solution. What we can do together in order to fix this major problem. It's not in news that 2023 and already the 2024 has become the hottest year on record. The heating on the planet reached an unprecedented level, with millions of people being affected by natural disasters. And the climate change only continues to aggravate. The anthropogenic causes of climate change have long been established. Numerous efforts have been made to combat the climate change, with many countries striving to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and adopting clean energy technologies like solar and wind power. And since 1992, we already see the significant progress on the international arena. But however, the climate-related disasters continue to escalate rapidly. So it's definitely that we are not doing enough. NASA chief climatologist Gavin Schmidt expressed his concern about record high temperature in 2023. He said that the temperature not only broke the previous records, but also showed that there are some unknown factors causing heating that exceeds the usual long-term trends of the previous models. In other words, there are other factors of the planet's heating that we haven't yet taken into account. And in order for us to understand what kind of factor could contribute to the global change, let's look at the ocean. So the world ocean covers nearly 71% of the Earth's surface and contains more than 97% of the planet's water. But what if significant changes have occurred not only in the atmosphere, where we have added the greenhouse gases, but also in the ocean, which is essentially the largest surface heated by the sun. According to data from an international group of scientists as of 2020, the ocean started warming 450% faster than previously over the past 30 years. Scientists have calculated that to heat the ocean at such an alarming rate, it would require the same amount of energy as detonating 7 atomic bombs, like those dropped on Hiroshima, every second for an entire year. It is an enormous amount of energy, right? And that begs a question: where did all this energy comes from? However, the ocean surface makes up only about the tenth of a percentage of the total volume of water in the world's ocean. And my question is, could it be that that factor X, the one heating the Earth, is hidden in the remaining 99% of the ocean? What if something has changed the properties of the ocean and it has started to accumulate heat more than before? Meaning, it has stopped releasing the heat. The world ocean have never been so heavily polluted. Up to 30 million tons oil get into the ocean every single day during the year, like through the different accidents, through the just leakage in tanker and so on, different industrial runoff. And of course, we not only polluted the ocean with the petroleum, but we also polluted with the plastic. Today, the total area of plastic islands of garbage on the ocean surface is almost the size of the United States and Australia combined. That's a very, very, very bad situation. When the plastic, the bottles, or any other plastic products entering the water, what actually happened to those products? Under influence of sunlight, salty water, waves, and wind, large plastic debris breaks down into the small particles. But we also have something as a nanoplastic. And this is like tinier particle that you can only see through the microscope. And the areas with the high concentration of plastic plastic waste are called plastic soup. Let's take a look at the graphs showing the amount of plastic produced since 1950 by different types, the total amount of microplastics in the ocean, and changes in the temperature of the world's ocean. Look, right now you see it on your screen. The graphs, they are grow in sync in geometric progression. It goes like that. Doesn't this suggest that the plastic in the ocean has significantly affected the ocean's ability to retain heat? So the more plastic we add to the ocean, the more heat accumulates in the ocean. And let's take a look why it is so. Due to its specific composition, microplastic have a unique property. They disrupt the ocean's heat conductivity. So the cause of the disruption of the ocean's function is the anthropogenic factor, and that's what we see very, very clear. And more specifically, it is the plastic that we have created, and it is now everywhere in the ocean. And instead of removing the heat like it was previously, the ocean has become like a thick blanket for our planet. And the planet is exactly what needs to be cooled. And remember, the ocean covers 71% of the entire surface. So we understand that plastic contributes to keep the ocean warm and not releasing the heat to the atmosphere. But what is heating the ocean? What if more heat began to enter the ocean from somewhere else? We need to look at the next graph, and that could be the hint for us. A team of US researchers have discovered that the mid-ocean depths have been warming 15 times faster over the past 60 years than they did over the previous 10,000 years. Moreover, the rate of ocean warming is escalating every year. Rising temperature at such depths where sunlight doesn't penetrate requires an immense amount of energy. So definitely we need to ask the question. So if we understand that not only the surface is warming up, but also the middle and the lower layer of the ocean is warming up and warming more faster, as you can see on your screen. So we should definitely start to look for the answer, like where this energy comes from that warms the ocean from the depth. And scientists have observed an unusual warming of the depth water of the Weddell Sea near the coast of West Antarctica. While the upper 700 meters of water show almost no warming, the temperature of deeper layer is continuously rising. And there are several explanations for this anomaly, but none of the causes have been fully determined yet. So, how did the extra heat get to the bottom? Right now, the assumption is that heat from the deep ocean is insignificant, so small that it can be ignored. But what if we're wrong? After all, we know so little about the ocean depth. Bathyscaphs and sensors rarely dive that deep to study that. Never before has science been tasked with monitoring temperatures at the ocean floor. Ocean monitoring systems such as Argo use 3,500 bays, but that's insufficient to provide a complete picture, as they only descend to half the ocean depth and collect the data from just 0.03% of the ocean surface. Space exploration is currently advancing even more than the exploration of the ocean floor. I truly hope that after today's session and after this conference, we will pay more attention to the ocean and study more and direct more resources toward that goal, because we definitely need to solve this mystery about the ocean warming. And do you know that there are some innovative hypotheses already being considered in the geological community, saying that geological processes actually have a significant impact on the climate system, including ocean heating? There are over 10 million geological objects on the ocean floor, such as volcanoes, faults, and hydrothermal vents. Just imagine this power. So all this system can definitely add more thermal energy and warm the ocean. But we need to study that, and we need to build a demand for this research. Thanks to the work of interdisciplinary team of scientists, it has become known that over the past 30 years, the planet has been experiencing increased geodynamic activity. There has been a rise in seismic and volcano activities, significant changes in the Earth's magnetic field, and an increase in deep focus earthquakes. According to historical geological data, this geodynamic activation occurs cyclically. This is not the main topic for our discussion today, and so I will not develop on it, but you can find more detailed information in the report available on the website. So you can just point your cell phone and take a picture of the QR code that will redirect you to the website. But let's come back to the ocean. So historical data obtained from the study of coral reefs shows that in the previous cycle, the ocean successfully released heat because basically plastic did not exist. In contrast, now the reefs are dying from overheating, and that's very alarming. Some researchers believe that if the situation with the ocean doesn't change, natural disaster will obliterate all life on Earth. We have only few years left before reaching the point of no return. And you will understand that when you really well understand how the ocean works and what's its role for us as a planet. So right now, our planet's interior is heating up. We desperately need a functioning cooling system, but it's clogged with a plastic soup. So it's basically, you can compare it with the atomic reactor that needs the cooling. And instead of having the clean water to cool this reactor, it has like water polluted with like some dirt. But that's not a problem. There is a solution. And that's the atmospheric water generators. So this technology can extract the water from the air, but moving this water through the filters that also can extract nanoplastic, different pollutant like a CO2, methane, dust, and anything what we have right now in the atmosphere. So it will not only provide the clean water for the population, but it also will contribute to the cleaning of the ocean. So that technology is already available on the market. We only need to scale it up and definitely adjust to the different region of our planet, to the different climate zone. So the way how this machine is designed, the air that comes into the machine is filtered to start with. The moisture is condensed out of the moisture that's in the air. So the only thing that the machine is seeking is the water molecule, which is smaller than the piece of microplastic, really. It's the technology that can create water everywhere. So whether it's the Devil Valley in Nevada or it's Sahara Desert, we can still make water even there. So by using atmospheric water generator, we are seeing that we will solve the water issue. We will reduce the footprint that is from the plastic industry. We will reduce the carbon footprint from the transportation, and we will help the environment to return the natural cycle. Atmospheric water generator filter water and remove all impurity. If used on the large scale, they could act as the kind of artificial filter in the planet's water cycle. After several years of active use, the ocean and atmosphere would be significantly cleansed. The ocean would begin to transfer heat back to the atmosphere from where it would escape into the space. It is environmentally friendly solution to the problems of drinking water. Moreover, when intensive evaporation occurs, the ocean cools down, similar to how evaporation of sweat on our skin cools a person during, like in the summertime. So likewise, if the atmospheric generators are used on the large scale worldwide, then the atmosphere will become less humid and cooler. So consequently, hurricanes and storm will weaken, and the frequencies of extreme precipitation that we are seeing today, they will also decrease. And that could save millions of lives and prevent multi-billion dollar losses. So atmospheric water generator are truly promising technology, but they must be part of the comprehensive approach. First of all, so we need to implement it on the global scale, which means everywhere on the planet. And the second step is we also need to restructuring the current sewage system. For example, the water should not be discharged into the open water bodies, but pass through the soil layers and get purified before entering any water bodies. And third is to implement the fuel-free energy generators, and that will help us to achieve sustainable development goal of the United Nations. This approach will allow us to reach this goal much faster. And we can combat climate change, providing clean water to those in need, and at the same time restore the ocean, restore our ecosystem. I will give you some dates, like how long we will need in order to restore everything. If we implement the air water generator like worldwide, so this can help us to see the result already in the 2 or 3 years. But we need to understand that we need to work together as one humanity. So we need, first of all, implement it worldwide, stop using the regular water sources, find the solution to our sewage water. Those measures will help us to see the clean ocean in 5 to 8 years. And clean ocean means healthy earth. And that's very important to understand. Such an action requires the international cooperation. And that will play a crucial role. To solve this global problem, we need to unite the efforts of scientists, policymakers, businesses, and definitely the public. By combining our efforts and resources, we will be able to develop and implement comprehensive solution. I think we already understand that we need to set aside the political and economic disputes that divide us and focus on the climate agenda. We definitely need to create the platform where all the leading scientists, researchers can get together and really work as one team for the benefits of the entire humanity. Thank you so much.